Hi, I'm Kate, and welcome to the Curious Collective podcast, conversations designed to create an awareness around holistic approaches to living your best life. We tap into the wisdom and knowledge of our guests to extract what we need to heal, transform, and live as our true soulful selves. So today I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you all to Patricia, who has a business called Warmly Nourished. And I met Patricia probably about a year ago exactly, when I attended a specialized dinner at her home that she was doing a concept meal for all of us. So I'm going to pass over to Patricia and let her introduce herself and what it is that she does. Welcome.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Katie. So yes, I'm Patricia Frederick. I am an integrative nutrition certified health coach. And before I ventured down the health coaching track, I was a chef, and I did. I worked through all sorts of different areas of chefing, including my own personal chefing. I had a group of clients in Sydney when I lived in Sydney, and I just provided meals to them. And when I moved up to Brisbane, I don't do personal chefing up here. But I do private cooking in people's homes, and I turn it into sort of a mini nutritional cooking event.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And it's good fun.
And what got you into the line of work that you're doing now that you've moved up here to Brisbane?
So when I was living in Sydney, as I said, I was a chef, and I then started managing commercial kitchens and looking after the diets of little Australians. So I worked in private schools, in boarding schools. And our primary customer was either little boys or little girls aged between 12 and 18. And then I had the joy of working on college campuses at Sydney Uni in the private colleges there, always running the kitchens, which meant I had a group of chefs, plus I was also a chef. We did all of the meal production, 21 meals a week for all of the students, plus special catering for events and things like that. And in my spare time, I started studying nutrition and realized that chemicals that are part of prepackaged things that we use as shortcuts in the catering business were actually, I thought, harming the taste buds of small little humans.
Our young adults.
Yeah, young adults and small little humans. And so at the high school level, the 12 to 18-year-olds, they didn't seem to care, and nobody seemed to really notice it. But when I got to the private university kitchen, the students did care more because they were educated, and a lot of them were going on to become dietitians or nutritionists. Or nursing. And so they were already in the health space, and they started asking lots of questions about the food and how we prepared it. And we started making some modifications to certain things and brought in more of the food that I thought was more important, more salads, more vegetables, and creating meals that used more vegetables, less meat, more vegetables.
And helping those that were consuming the meals to sort of gain a bit of an awareness within themselves of how eating probably better choices in foods was making them feel and perform and focus a bit better.
Exactly. And when you're working with university students, they have a say, they have opinions.
They do.
And they really do sort of ask a lot of questions, and they request things, and they also start to have more health issues at that age. Things like gut disorders or celiac disease start to become more of a focus because they've gone through the medical saying, I don't feel well, and going through and getting all the tests done. And so they have a better feel for what's really going on with them, being slightly older and being more in touch with their bodies. So that was an interesting experience. And then I had 26 unique clients, and I thought I could just do food production and create a weekly meal plan, and everybody would take that. Unfortunately, I wound up with 26 unique health issues. So I had egg allergies, I had gluten intolerance, I had celiac, I had got all sorts of gut disorders, which we now sort of lump into lifestyle concerns.
Yeah.
And I had I also had low FODMAPs, which in 2010, not a lot of people knew what being on a low FODMAP diet really
No, not back then. Now you can buy all sorts of FODMAP foods.
Yeah, so I learned how to work with all of that. And then I had my own little mini health crisis and realized that I could actually do what I was doing for my clients, I could actually do for me. And so I coached myself out of my own little health issue, which was really adrenal fatigue, which was what my health issue was, adrenal fatigue. And all the things associated with that, with some hormone imbalances as I was starting to go through menopause. And it all came together, and I said, oh, there must be a career in this. And there was. It's called health coaching.
And no better way to learn than, going through the steps for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I found the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, not that I'm trying to create an ad for them, but I found them through Dr. Libby and her first TED Talk. She's now done a second one, but her first TED Talk, and I went, oh, this woman's amazing. And I started following Dr. Libby. In fact, I have every single one of her books on my bookshelf, and I'm looking across going, oh yeah, there they all are. There they all are, every single one of them. And then I enrolled in IIN, and I realized that it's not just what you put on the end of your fork that's going to nourish your body and keep you healthy and well. It's also your lifestyle and how you actually speak to yourself. Those conversations you have in your head, like, oh God, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do this? Or, ooh, stupid. Or all these things we say to ourselves that aren't very nice. I mean, would you say that to your best friend? No, you would say nice things. You would not lie to them, but you would not say them in really nasty ways.
Sugarcoat it.
I'm not going to say sugarcoat, but I'm going to say it you would couch the terms in very positive statements that says, no, you're not stupid. You were probably preoccupied and you just didn't take into account all the things that could go wrong or all the things that were going to be impacting you. And let's step back from that for a minute and break it down into smaller pieces and put it into perspective. And then the conversation gets a little nicer.
Yeah, so it's a holistic approach to wellness, to nutrition, to nourishment of whole body and mind.
That's right. And so I have a little Facebook community that I call the Whole You, Nourished and Living Agelessly, because I firmly believe that through lifestyle, nourishment of body with food, mind, soul, through your ideas and your belief systems and things like that, and your goals, and then movement, that your life can be everything you want it to be. Movement's important. Mindset's important. Your lifestyle is important because that's how you're expressing yourself right now.
Yeah, definitely. I can see you're so passionate about it. And did this come through just working with different people as you went along? How has that journey been for you?
So it started out slowly because I wasn't very nice to myself. I lived in, I always had very male-dominated careers. I worked in the defense industry when I lived in the U.S. I also worked in the telecommunications industry, always on the technical side. Not a very female-friendly environment, so you sort of kind of hiked your pants up and
got the job done.
Got the job done, did more things on, I guess they say you do things more on the right side of your body, which is interesting because that's where all of my inflammation and my arthritis is. Didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
Think about it. And then then I changed careers and decided to requalify as a chef. And I did that in my 40s. And that is a very male-dominated field. And it's not a particularly friendly environment when you come in as a newbie apprentice chef, but if you come in as an older person coming into a kitchen environment and then being female as an older female, it's really not a fun place to start. You have to sort of prove yourself. And I overdid it. I overproved myself. I was carrying sacks of potatoes and sacks of rice on my shoulders up and down stairs. Big no-nos. So I could compete with 18 and 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
As a 41-year-old. I'm sorry. That's really not very bright.
We only do what we know, hey?
Right. That's right. We do what we know. And I was competing and trying to prove that I was able to do the job just like the youngsters were. And that included working quickly in the kitchen. And so everything I did was fast. And when the end of the day came, I would be absolutely exhausted. And then I got up and did it again the next day. And I kept just doing that over and over and over again.
And then that led to your adrenal fatigue and burnout.
It did, but it started the process. I then went into what's known as contract catering, working for companies that looked after, from my case, looking after the educational side of contract catering, going into working at boarding schools and then at the college level, and managing large teams of people within a commercial kitchen environment, which not many people realize this, but you're the go-between between your company and your client. So that's a sales and account management role. Then you're the HR manager on your site for all of your staff, whether they be whatever award level they were on. You were also the OH&S officer. You were the food safety officer, the finance officer. It's a big job. And then you had all of the parents insisting they get involved with the nourishment of their children.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. And then I quit all of that and started my own business, thinking, this will be really easy. I will control the whole thing. And I did. 7 days a week for 2.5 years.
Oh, no.
Yes.
The entrepreneurial dive.
That's right. And adrenal fatigue was right on. And I was moving in that direction anyway. I didn't realize it at the time, but the signs were there. When I look back, the signs were there. I was not nourishing my body properly. I was not nourishing my mind. I was not resting. I wasn't doing kind things for myself. And it all built up. And your body can only take so much.
Yeah.
And it says, sorry, I'm done.
And it starts to show up physically within the body, the rashes on the skin or the achy joints or the headaches,
That's right. And it did show up for me, and it showed up, and it really hit me hard. But it had been building for a number of years. I just didn't listen. And now I know what those signs are, and I can stop and go, I think we need to talk to you about some self-love or some nourish you that way, as well as nourishing you with food.
And that is something key there that I just heard you say, and that's listening. So listening to self, listening to your body, listening to the dialogue that's going on in and around you.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And as you and I explored and because of the work that you're doing with chakras, we played around with whole healing foods for each of the chakras to help nourish the chakras. And it's amazing how those simple foods at each level just help bring the body back into balance.
I really loved doing that work with you. And for anyone that is interested in looking at it is on our YouTube channel, so you can tap into that. But when we did that together, what did you love the most about it?
How simple it was, to be honest. But not just the food, all of the other things that you built into that program. If you took one piece out, the program just wouldn't have held its own. So it holds its own as this beautiful expression of what you were trying to achieve. But it's not just it's nourishment at all levels, not just food. It's all of it. And bringing all of those elements together just proves to me over and over again how important nourishment at all levels is, whether it's at the end of your fork or whether it's your mindset or how you care for yourself. It's all important. And when you take one of the legs of the stool out from under you, you are unbalanced.
Yeah, so much so. And I've actually had some coaching work one-on-one with you around your extensive knowledge on this holistic approach to nourishment of body, soul, and mind. And what advice would you have for people that are looking to sort of step into this space that may have no knowledge at all around even where to start?
First of all, we're all unique. We are not a cookie cutter of each other. So your biology, if you will, that's your DNA that you were born with, that your parents gave you, and their parents gave to them. And I think you can go back several generations of what's actually passed down to you. If you look at that and you add in your lifestyle, whatever that is, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Your lifestyle plus your DNA is your epigenetic expression of yourself right now. And we're all a little different, and we all experience stress or discomfort / disease slightly differently. And to heal us or to bring us back to a state of blissful health is a different journey for every person. And it goes as far down as the time of day that you eat, the quality of the food that you eat at different times of the day. You can even go to physical activity, when you do easy, gentle movement, and when you actually go full out, whether that be running or weightlifting or whatever it is that you do for your particular biology that supports you, is then going to help you keep that beautiful balance in your life.
It absolutely fascinates me. You even drilled it down to what foods supported my biology and what foods I should perhaps steer clear of. And that to me was mind blowing. I'm like, oh gosh.
I know. And even when looking at healthy food, I mean, you would think that everyone could eat green cabbage or cauliflower or certain herbs or fruit, bananas or apples or something, but not everybody can because of our biology and our metabolism. We handle foods differently, and based on that, then creating that really clear understanding of what foods are actually going to be helpful and what are sometimes foods is a nice understanding. And when you can find that, it's like this little master key. It sort of unlocks things.
Yeah, I love that reference to the key unlocking things because, I know people, and of course you do because you're in this space, that have tried this and that's not worked, and that has worked initially, but then it's not working. It's like, but you haven't found the key.
That's right. And once you find the key, it's like, oh, wow. Oh, I wish I'd known this sooner, or no, that's too restrictive. I don't want to go down that path. It's like, well, no, it's not restrictive. It's just, look at it from an 80-20 perspective and say 80% of the time I will do everything absolutely perfectly. And 20% of the time is, I like to treat myself on a Friday night. I like to go to people's birthday parties. I like having this maybe once a week. That's fine. It's when it's not what you do every once in a while, it's what you do every day that makes the difference. So, applying some rules of thumb to your own personal life, like taking an 80-20 approach to something, takes that restriction out of it.
Yeah, people don't like restriction.
No, they don't. And I don't believe, and for example, I don't believe in the concept of putting someone on a restrictive diet, because I don't think that's appropriate. You want to eat well, and you want your body to be fueled in the best way possible for its nutrition.
That premium fuel at the fuel tank instead of the, E10 cheap stuff.
That's right. And it's not what the brain thinks the body wants. It's what the body actually needs. So if you're having metabolic issues, or you find yourself having these massive spikes and drops from with your blood sugar, there's reason for that.
Yeah.
It's the type of food that you're eating at the time of day that you're eating it. So there's a lot of looking at time of day and the quality of the food that you're eating at the different times.
Completely fascinates me. And I would love you just to talk into one more thing before we part ways, and that's your own health journey. So you said that you learned most of what you did through your own journey, and how did that start for you, and what have you achieved through that?
Okay. So once I sort of sorted myself out from the adrenal fatigue and got my iron levels back where they needed to be, and got my vitamin D levels up, and by my vitamin B levels were a disaster as well, which are the feel-good vitamins, these things that make you feel normal.
Yeah.
They're important vitamins that everybody sort of overlooks, and they're extremely important. But anyway, once I got all of that sort of sorted out, I then had to look at my movement and figure that out. And I was getting up we had 2 dogs, and my husband and I started getting up really early in the morning to walk them. And I noticed that my joints weren't feeling better, and that I was getting a lot of swelling in my lower limbs around my knees and my ankles and my calves. And I couldn't figure it out. And that went on for 4 years. I just couldn't figure it out. My arthritis was feeling worse. I just couldn't work it out. And then I put myself into this epigenetic look-see at my own diet and what was going on with me. And before I changed any food, I actually changed my exercise time frame. And so first thing in the morning, I stopped doing that power walking. I stopped. And I started noticing a difference. I noticed that I wasn't getting as much swelling in my joints, that the water retention was less and less, and it kept getting better and better. I also started walking with a backpack to add a little bit of weight just to keep myself grounded. And that was really lovely. And then but I started doing it later in the day. So I did slow movements first thing in the morning just to wake things up, and then progressively the day got more and more. And what I was finding was, because I was reserving my energy through the day, I was actually more active and awake and had more energy through the day. And then when I got to around somewhere between 3 and 7 o'clock at night, I needed to release that excess energy so I could sleep better at night.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I needed to hold on to my energy so I could function during the day. And then once I got to a certain point where the work for the day was done, I needed to release that energy. And that wasn't through doing burpees and things. That was really doing the more weight kinds of work. And that was massive, massive difference.
What a beautiful awareness of self.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. And once I sorted that out, and then I started looking at the food changes and time of day and what time I go to bed at night and get up in the morning and how to start my day. And I found that it was really working for me. And that a lot of the issues with around menopause belly and things like that, those issues started to become less and less. And what I realized was this tool that I had was so good that I decided to become an endorsed coach, and I did.
So this beautiful rounding out and this integrative health coaching that you're doing is beautiful, beautiful work. And I've seen, just even in the year that I've known you, the change in even yourself, your skin, your hair, your vibrancy, your energy is just beautiful. And you're so passionate about what you do. And are there some face-to-face deliveries that you're doing, or any online stuff that we can tell the listeners about?
So I do a variety of things to work with clients. I do cooking classes. I do them in groups, face-to-face in groups, or I do them privately in people's homes. And they're nutritional cooking classes. So you tell me what it is you want to learn. And if there's some a healthier way to do a particular recipe, I'll do that.
Oh,
And we
nice.
talk about the nutrition of those meals and how that all came about. And I really love doing those programs because it allows me to actually talk to people.
Yeah.
And I get to do that face to face. And
Yeah.
I haven't figured out how to do those online yet, but I'm looking at it, and I'll figure that out. The other thing that I do is I created a little program called the Yellow Brick Road, and it's sort of an introduction to working with me. It's a 90-minute get to know you session where we map out your sort of health journey around all areas of your health, not just one area. We look at everything. And sort of put a little roadmap together, if you will. So that's why I called it the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, what a great name.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. So I call it the Yellow Brick Road, and it's fairly reasonably priced. It's a 90-minute session. Sometimes I even let it go to a full 2 hours. You get the replay from our session together, and you get a little roadmap
beautiful.
that we create together. And then from there, I can do one-on-one coaching, either in person or via Zoom, where we actually do look at more of the epigenetic coaching. Or I have my premier program, which is a one-to-one program called The Whole You, and we work together for about 6 months. And we meet every fortnight in person or on Zoom. Your choice if we have to live in the same city. And that one is a hold your hand. It's working with you for six months. A total of 12 sessions over that 6-month period.
Some big changes had come into play there with that total transformation type stuff.
Right, exactly. So it is a total transformation, but I'm not doing the work for you. I am guiding you to find the solutions and the issues that are going to work for you.
Perfect. Then you can continue that work on. That's
right. And I can't do that for you, but what I can do is be that little guide on your shoulder, that helping hand, that person who's going to question, the person who's going to help you find the direction. Because if I did it for you, it would be like somebody else living your life for you. And that's not what I'm wanting to do for you. I want you to live your life the best you can. But what I can do is guide and help you move in the right direction.
I love that for you, and I love that for your clients, because you'd get to see the transformation over the time, even with just your one-on-one work, is that the aha moments and I didn't even think about that. The ones I had is so rewarding as a practitioner. But also, to have someone there to be able to share that with is really beautiful too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there any other things that you'd love to leave our listeners with before we part ways?
I just would like to say that food, wherever you get it, is look at the food that's going to nourish your body the best. If you buy good quality food and make plants and fruit, make plant food the majority of your plate, and non-plant food, if you happen to eat non-plant food, just make that a smaller part of your plate so that the vegetables can do their thing. One of the best things you can do for creating satiety in the diet and helping things move through the diet is to eat a lot of fibrous foods. So the more fiber you have in your diet, the better it is for the colon and the whole digestive system.
And your livers love it.
They do, and the gut loves it too. And the intestine loves it. It all loves it. And the scrub brush from all that beautiful fiber is so good for the colon, keeping colon health at its optimum. So I encourage you, when you're creating your meal plan for the week or just for the day, think about it, not, I've got enough vegetables on the plate, now it's time to look at the meat. Don't think of it that way. Think, how can I add more vegetables to this plate? And sort of crowd out other things. And I think you'll find you'll get fuller faster, you'll stay fuller longer, They'll snack less, but having all of that extra plant-based material in the body, all those beautiful antioxidants and minerals and vitamins that you're getting, all that beautiful fiber. And it also helps with skin and connective tissue and all of it. It's just a really beautiful thing to do for the body. Now, if you eat meat and dairy and seafood, that's okay. I'm not saying don't eat it. I would never say that to you. But what I would recommend is you treat that as a smaller portion on the plate.
Yeah.
And treat vegetables as a larger portion and more of the green leafies and things like that.
Yeah, so my husband's saying of you don't make friends with salad is definitely not what we're aiming for here.
That's correct. Make friends with your salad. And also to understand that just because something says it's healthy doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing for biology and your metabolism. And understanding your body and listening to what your body needs and wants is more
That's
important.
the key.
It is the key. And we really have to pay attention, not be persuaded by news stories and things like that. There's a lot of that going on out there, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I absolutely love what you said there at the end, and I completely resonate with it. Is the key is to listen to your body, be aware of how your body's reacting, and just be curious, explore.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming on to our podcast. Anyone that's wanting to get in touch with Patricia, all the details will be in the fine print underneath. Thank you so much again.
You're very welcome. Thanks,
Bye.
Kate. Thank you. Bye-bye.